Hi guys, let's get started and begin. This is day 2 of Anxious to Aligned workshop, and I'm Sarah King. I'm a yoga teacher and a holistic therapist, and I'll be taking you through a couple of postures that can help really reduce stress, anxiety, panic, just give you an overall feeling of really good well-being. So if you're completely new to yoga, hopefully you should be able to go through all of the postures, or if you're a seasoned yogi, then hopefully you'll know the benefits, and it's just nice to reconnect and be guided through these postures. So get nice and comfortable. We're actually going to start with mountain pose, which is a standing posture. So in your own time, just slowly working your way around to standing up. And the first thing I want you to do is, if you're wearing any footwear, just remove that footwear immediately. So I'm going to take my socks off. Just going to start with a couple of easy techniques. So standing up in mountain pose. So there's a couple of variations in mountain pose. You can have your big toes together with a small gap in your heels, or you can have your feet about hip width apart. So if you think of your hips, my hip bones are here, and then you want your feet just underneath there. So just becoming to get grounded and rooted. So becoming familiar with your feet, maybe picking the toes up and spreading them out. And just feeling into all the points on your feet, those feet that hold you up and support you. And then we're just going to slowly travel up the body, working through our mountain posture. So knees are softly bent. We don't want to lock out your knees. We want muscle engagement. We do that by softening through the knees. And then drawing up to our waist area. So very slight engagement of the tummy muscles. So drawing the belly button backwards, the abdominal towards the spine. And you want your back in a very neutral position. So think about your tailbone just working down towards the floor. So we're not flaring out or tucking under too much. It's just a nice lengthening neutral tailbone. And then traveling up to the chest, have a little openness in here. So you can do that by opening up through the shoulders. So slide them down the back and towards each other. And you should feel and see the shoulders move away from your ears here. Softness in the face, so no tension in the jaw, the tongue is soft in the mouth. And then imagine a piece of string from the top of the head just pulling you and lengthening you up here. So we've got the lovely lengthening through the whole of the body, and then the palms just come to face forward. So this is our full mountain pose. And think about what mountain represents. It represents stillness, it represents strength as well. And the other benefit of this posture, and other than the breath work that we worked on yesterday, which you can refer to that video for the next 6 days, is this benefit of grounding, so being in contact with the earth. Is something that us humans do less than we ever did. So we are electrical beings. Our nerve sends impulses around the body to make our muscles function, for our heart to beat. And we need to offset this electrical charge by getting grounded and rooted with the earth. And we can do this with bare feet. So even if you're not used to practicing yoga, you can go outside, take your shoes off, and stand with bare feet on the earth doing your mountain posture. So you're drawing up energy from the earth, and also you're strengthening your body here. So this is an active standing posture. It might not look like that we're doing a lot. We're really strengthening the body. It helps with the nerves as well. And then let's become aware of our breath. So if it helps at this point, you can place your hands on your belly, and we'll come into that abdominal breathing that we did yesterday. So yogic abdominal breathing is done through the nose, in through the nose and out through the nose, if that's comfortable and you're not blocked. So becoming to be aware of that breath, be aware of the journey. Notice if your chest breathing, and see if you can lengthen and slow that breath down and send it all the way down into the belly. So we're going to take a couple of rounds of that breath in your own time. It doesn't need to be particular speed, but just being as slow and full as you can with these breaths. breathing in that most full way so that we're sending those signals to the brain, to the nervous system to say that we have enough air. And we're going to strengthen that parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and that digest. So we've got that balance in our nervous system. We can use the sympathetic system when we need to. Otherwise, we're feeling grounded and balanced here. Really feeling your feet. And maybe setting an intention for your practice. So if we want to concentrate on balancing out those feelings of stress and anxiety, we need to tap into the mind. And these yoga techniques are really great at modulating the mind through the body. So before we get into our movement, we'll just set that intention, and let's have the intention that our mind is where our feet are at. So yes, our body's present, but often our mind can be running off in all directions. So you can practice this outside of yoga, but it's a lovely thing to do whilst you're practicing to help you concentrate. So you can do it at the kitchen sink, you can have your mind where your feet are. And I really encourage that throughout the whole of this practice. So staying with that belly breath, that abdominal breathing. Really feel the hands rise up and away as that air's drawn all the way into the belly, filling it up. And the end of the exhale, maybe drawing the navel in towards the spine. We're not pushing the air out as such, but just gently helping it out so that we're doing this full breathing. And then again, hopefully already you're noticing some more awareness in the body. Maybe you're getting some feedback from the breath. And for me, with all my yoga practices, I'm always linking the breath and the body. So yoga does mean connection, it means to join. And when we join the breath awareness with the body, we can really see special changes happening. It can really help us to be present, and it helps us to go deeper into our yoga as well. So just relax the hands back down by the sides here. Let's begin to link the breath and movement here. So we'll take an inhale, turn the palms to face forwards and circle the hands up. Breathing for the whole of the movement. The palms meet at the top here. And then we begin the exhale as we begin to draw the hands down the center line. Really moving with the breath. Inhale, open the palms up, circle the hands up. If you want to, you can take your gaze up towards your hands as they reach to the top. And then exhale the hands through the heart center, the whole of the exhale, the whole of this downward movement. Inhale, let's circle up once again. Make it even fuller. Feel the air into the ribs at the side of the body. Feel a nice stretch down the sides. And then exhale down the heart center. Then we're going to release the hands at the bottom here. And then we're just going to work into the jaw. So that's an area that often we're really gripping tension. We're really clenching the jaw. So just open and part the mouth slightly. And then we begin to wiggle that jaw from side to side. So keeping awareness with your mountain pose, drawing up energy from the earth. Just gently parting the mouth. And then just wiggling that jaw from side to side. And maybe you can feel around the masseter jaw. It's a really strong, powerful jaw. Perhaps you'll feel it begin to ease out. Nice. Take a couple of breaths. And then let's take some movements with the neck. So relax the hands down by the sides. Draw up energy from the earth. Grow tall from the crown of your head. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Look over your right shoulder. And then draw a half circle with your nose as we look down at the floor and move the neck all the way around so that we take our gaze up and over the left shoulder. Inhale here. And then exhale, do that half circle, looking down, feeling a nice stretch in the neck, hopefully. Inhale at the top. Exhale, take it back down. Maybe you're feeling some little clicks and pops, sounds and movements here. So letting them out, inhaling at the top, and then exhaling down, take it back all the way over to the right. Let's just hold it there. So keep your gaze slightly down towards the floor, and hopefully you'll feel a little stretch in the side of the neck. Now there's another layer to this if you want it. It's just an invitation. If this is enough for you, stay where you are. But we can lengthen the left arm away from the body and strongly point the fingers down towards the floor. You might begin to feel that increase of sensation in the neck. Staying here for a breath and then perhaps adding another layer in by sweeping the left hand up and placing it onto the left ear, just above the left ear, and then gently pulling the neck, the head upwards slightly. So we're not adding weight and drawing the neck down, but we're just finding a lift here and a nice stretch. So what we're doing is freeing up some space in the neck for this really important nerve called the vagus nerve that starts in the spine, the cranial nerves, and then travels all the way down to the gut. Just release that, release the top hand first of all. Gently rest the hands down by the sides and slowly bring the head back to neutral. Take a breath and maybe notice the different sensations between the sides of the neck here. Mountain pose, nice and strong. Inhale at the top and then dropping that left ear to the left shoulder. Holding there for a breath. Staying there if that's good for you. Otherwise, stretching the other fingers towards the floor, increasing the sensation in the neck perhaps. And maybe sweeping the left hands all the way up, placing them just above the ear and finding a lift and stretch here as well. Freeing up that vagus nerve, that really important nerve to help with general overall good well-being. Really helps with the breath. It helps with the digestive system. So we're looking for a really good tone here. So we want to stretch it and we want to move the body. Move that left hand first of all. Bring the hands back down by the sides of the body. Take that head back to neutral. Mountain pose at the top. Take a nice breath. And then we're just going to begin to open up the chest, the heart here. So helping feel a nice stretch across. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. You can take your legs slightly wider than hip width, maybe come into shoulder width. And there's two variations here. So taking the hands behind us and maybe taking a bend in the elbows and grabbing the hands onto the elbows. Feel an openness in your chest as you shuffle the shoulder blades together and draw the tips of the shoulder blades down. So hopefully you'll begin to feel this openness here. Maybe this is enough, maybe you want to stay here. The other variation is we can take the hands, interlace the hands, either box the hands or have the palms facing each other and touching, and then drawing the hands down towards the floor, shoulder blades begin to touch. Nice. The chin can tuck in towards the body, or if it feels okay on the neck, we can take the gaze all the way up towards the ceiling. Introducing a nice stretch in the neck here, again helping that vagus nerve. Whichever variation that you've taken, imagine a piece of string on the chest, lifting you up here. So we're not dumping into the low back, but we're feeling a lift and an open upwards feeling up towards the ceiling. Breathing into that heart space, into the chest. See if you can shuffle the shoulder blades a little bit closer together now. And then we'll slowly tuck that chin back in if it's not already there. And then gently let the hands or the elbows go. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body. Taking a breath here. And then maybe just parting the feet a tiny bit wider. We're just going to bring some movements into the upper body. So this next movement is a very childlike movement. If you've got kids or nieces and nephews or family around you, you'll often watch them do it. And if you've got a lot of high energy, it can be hard to sit down and just meditate immediately. So we can stand up to our mountain pose and then bring this gentle movement in just to help match the energy, get control of it, and then gently bring it back down if we want to. So all we're doing is gently swaying our arms from side to side. Now I'm going to move away from my table because I'm going to start to bring this movement a little bit bigger. Your arms just flailing out to the sides like this. It will gently hit your body as you drop them down and round. Keep a soft bend in the knees, don't lock out the knee joints. And then just move with your breath and close your eyes off, and it actually feels quite enjoyable, this one. It really does bring me back to that kind of juvenile feeling of being young and free. And you can speed this up as much as you want to. And any little twists on the body, always nice on the spine as well. Come back to your feet, put your mind where your feet are, and feel nice and rooted and strong. And then begin to slow this movement down. Just really slowly coming to a point where I eventually come back to the middle, back to a point of stillness. And then we can either heel toe the feet back together or gently jump in here. So let's take a couple of standing postures. So we're just going to stretch out into a posture called warrior pose, or in Sanskrit Virabhadrasana. So we'll step out on our right foot comes forward with the toes pointing straight ahead of us, and then stepping out on the left foot with the toes pointing at 90 degrees. So if you have a look at your front foot, you want the heel of the foot either in line with the arch or the heel or the big toe ball joint of that left leg. First of all, get really rooted and feel super strong in your feet. Your toes are nice and spread, and your weight is not forwards or backwards, it's completely even between the 2 feet. Hips, heart and head's in one line. We're not stretching forwards or backwards, and there's an openness in the hips. So maybe engage the glute muscles very slightly, and this will help to open up through the hips. Then we're going to stretch the arms out into a T position, and have a quick look behind at your arm and make sure it's in line with your front arm. And then we just turn our head, turn our gaze and look over that middle finger of our right arm. So just feel really strong in your warrior pose. It's a really nice concentrated pose because we work in the lower body. There's quite a lot of strength work going on here. But we're lifting up out of the hips and feeling lightness in that upper body. And then we're really stretching through those fingers. Come back to our breathing and just check that we're still breathing into the belly. And then we'll take a couple of flowing movements with this. So we'll move in on inhale, we'll straighten up our legs and we'll stretch for the ceiling, turning our body to face forwards. And then we'll exhale, bend through the knee, stretch the fingers out and look over the right fingers. Inhale, push into the floor to lift you up. And then exhale back into your warrior pose, maybe sinking a bit lower this time. Inhale back up. And exhale down, feeling all that strength in the thighs, pushing into the outer edge of the foot. And then releasing the hands onto the hips, straightening the right leg, turning the right toes to face forward, and turning the left heel in so that we can take that warrior position on the other side. But this way, if you need to shuffle around in your pose and make your stance wider or shorter, then please go ahead and do what's right for your body. Otherwise, we're sinking into that knee. We always want the knee and the ankles stacked to protect through the joints. We're opening up in the hips, we're engaging the thighs very slightly. Just check that knee's not falling in, drawing it back so it's directly over the ankle. Stretching the arms out into your T position and turning to look over your left hand. Feel that lovely stretch in the fingers. Feel that lift in the upper body, but you're really strong and rooted through the feet. Toes are nice and relaxed, they're not gripping the mat on the floor. And just thinking strength in this posture, it's a really great one for building confidence and strength, releasing stress. Let's take a couple of flows. So we'll move on an inhale, straighten the leg, lift the arms, look forwards. Take a nice inhale and move through the whole of the exhale, sinking back down, bring the arms out, stretching out into that T. Inhale, sweeping back up, finding that lift, that stretch down the side of the body. Exhaling down. We'll take one more, really flowing, really being present with the breath. And then exhale back down. Sweep the arms all the way down, resting on the hips. Straighten through the left leg, turn the toes to face in. And then either heel toe the feet in, or you can jump back to neutral. So let's get that mountain pose, really nice and strong, grounding through the feet, drawing energy up through the earth, nice and neutral tailbone, engaged through the belly button. We're going to move into Tree of Vipassana pose here. So transfer your weight all the way onto your left leg so that you can pick up the toes on your right foot. Begin to draw the knee in towards the chest as far as is comfortable for you. So you can either grab around the thigh or around the shin. And then get really strong in that standing leg. Growing tall from the crown of the head. We're going to open up the left knee to the side of the room. And then we can place the sole of the foot somewhere along the standing leg other than the knee joint area. So that might be down on the floor, might be by the ankle, might be on the shin, or you might want to pick that leg up and place it around the top of the thigh. What we want to do here is find a really still point and look straight ahead, placing all of our concentration there to help with our balance. And then you're going to push your standing leg into your foot and your foot in your leg. So it's really active and strong. Pushing in, that will help stabilize your lower body. And then we've got a couple of options with the hands. They can be down by the side of the body. They can be in the heart center in prayer. Or if you want to strengthen through your torso, you can sweep them up and open them up like the branches of a tree. Keeping all of your focus on that point in yoga, it's called your drishti, your focal point. And have a feeling that that right knee still opening up to the side of the room, beautiful, nice and strong. We're building inner confidence when we're doing these balancing postures. So breathing and feeling really strong in that standing leg. Embrace the wobbles. That's what trees do, they blow in the wind. One last inhale here, then we're going to exhale the hands down. Draw the knee back in. We'll come out this posture slowly as we went into it. And then place that foot down. I like to just give my feet a little bit of a shake here. And then we'll work it on the other side. So transferring the weight over, drawing that knee towards the chest, either holding around the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. Find that length first of all. Your shoulders draw away from your ears, growing tall in the torso. Opening up the knee to the side of the room first of all, and then honouring the difference between both sides of our body. So it might be lower down if it was higher up, it might be higher up if it was lower down. So testing, seeing what's there for you. Pushing everything into the midline, strongly push the foot into the leg into the foot. Don't lock out in the knee, soften the knee and check that your foot's not resting near the knee joint. Hands on heart center, or maybe working up to the sky, but find that drishti, that point to help you concentrate. And really breathing here. Don't forget that abdominal breath. Nice. Brace the wobbles. If you fall out, no problem. Just come back in when you're ready. Just make it really playful. Make it fun. One more long breath. And then we'll exhale everything down. We're going to move out of this posture slowly as we move in. Drawing the knee back to the center. Hugging it in briefly before dropping it down. Nice. Give them a little shake, those feet. And find your mountain pose once again. We're going to sweep the hands up with an inhale. And then in an exhale, we're going to take a soft bend in the knees and begin to hinge at the hips, bringing our body forward, circling the hands out, moving into what we call forward fold. So if I move to the side, you can join me. So we're all going to have different flexibility in our hamstrings and the back of our legs. So some of us might need to keep a really bent knee, or some of us might be able to lengthen a bit more, but don't knock out in the knee joints. Keep your gaze between your legs so that you've got a nice long length in the neck. The arms can either dangle and relax in front of you, or you might want to bend the elbows and hold on to them, or possibly even hold the hands around the back of the legs, around the back of the calves. And just feel the breath now in the back of the body, filling it into the lung space here. So we're just letting the blood rush up to the head, and we're giving the spine a bit of a break here. So those lovely cushiony discs in the spine, we're just giving them sort of an anti-gravity rest. So really nice and rejuvenating, good for back pain, opening up the low back as well. One more breath here, and then we'll begin to bend the feet, the knees even more. Bring the hands down to the floor. We're going to briefly step out into tabletop. Sit back on the heels. And then we're just going to take one seated posture here. We're going to take the arms out in front of us and send that right arm over the left. And then just take the hands to rest on the shoulders. Just taking a little hug here. So dropping the chin down into the chest and just gently closing off and falling inwards here. So notice if we're constricting the chest very slightly, it gives us more space to breathe into the back of the body. So breathing into the back of the body, feeling the air in the side ribs and the back ribs. And then bringing your head back to neutral, stretching hands out. We're going to work our way down to the floor for what we call legs up the wall pose. So if, like me, you don't have a wall near you, you can use the sofa, or if you've got a chair, we can work with a chair. But if you don't have any of those props, don't worry, we can literally just do this on the floor. So if you're working with the wall or the sofa or the chair, just bring your hips, your bum right up to that prop. Lower down on your forearms and then just swing the legs up and round. So shuffle around, take your weight onto your forearms and get your hips nice and close to your prop. And then just gently lower that upper body down. So that's if you're working with the wall. If you're working with the wall, just have your legs all the way up, or you can keep a bend and have flat of the feet on the wall here. If you don't have a chair and you just want to work with the wall, all we're doing is placing our hands on the floor, pushing into them for support, and then lifting our legs up towards the ceiling. The ankles and the feet can be relaxed. And we're just gently allowing the lymph and the blood to trickle down the legs. And this just allows our heart to have a little bit of a rest. Obviously the heart's still working, but it's not having to pump the circulation as far as normal. So what it can do is help to bring the heart rate down and the blood pressure down. Maybe have your hands on your belly and make sure you come back into that abdominal breathing. So what I'd recommend is doing this one for around 10 minutes. We don't have that long in today's session, unfortunately. But this is a really beautiful one to do at the end of the day. It can really help you to sleep, help with insomnia. So again, if you watched the breathwork video yesterday, you can lie here with your legs up the wall and legs up the bed, and then come into that abdominal breathing or into the golden thread breath. And before you know it, you could possibly be asleep, or you'll definitely be ready to sleep. Taking one more full breath here. And then drawing the knees into the chest. Maybe taking a hold around the back of the thighs or the shins. And if you want to take a little movement, we can rock from side to side. Yeah. Let's just roll all the way over to the side, and we'll take one final posture, which is child's pose. So if you're working with a blanket or a cushion, this would be a really nice one to place just on the heels, and so that you can rest your hips back here. You're going to stretch the fingers forwards and gently come to either rest the forehead onto the floor, or if you have a cushion, you might just want to place it underneath the forehead. And then you can make this an active posture if you want by pushing the hands into the floor, which sends the hips back a little bit further, intensifying the stretch. Or you might want to draw the arms down by the sides of the body with the palms facing up. Just shuffle the shoulders away from the ears. And breathing into the back of the body. So I like to take one breath where I imagine the back raising up towards the ceiling. And then gently exhaling, softening through the hips. And then on my next inhale, I like to imagine the ribs expanding to the side. And then exhaling, softening in the hips. So just take a couple of breaths like this. This is a really restorative pose. So if you've had a hard day, if you've been suffering from the effects of anxiety or stress, or you've had a sleepless night, and you don't have a chance to kind of sleep, this one can just rebuild your energy for you. So really close the eyes off and feel the breath here. Really take as long, slow breaths in as you can. And then when you're ready to gently move out the posture, just take the hands underneath your shoulders. Keep your chin tucked in And then just begin to push into the mat and raise your torso up very, very slowly. Coming to sit on your knees, removing the props, and then let's just find a seated position. So your seated position can be cross-legged, it can be seated on your knees, it can be legs out straight, whichever way is more comfortable for you. I'm going to take a cross-legged seat. I'm just going to show you a mudra here, which is a hand gesture. We all know how powerful hand gestures can be, whether they're positive or otherwise. I'm not going to demonstrate them. But this mudra, all we do is take the palms to meet, and we're going to interlace the fingers. But then we want to extend through the index finger and extend through the thumb. So from the side it looks like this. And then we're going to flip the index finger to face upwards and the thumb to face downwards. If you don't have the flexibility in your thumbs, don't worry, just have them pointing in towards you. And then just close the eyes off and come back into the abdominal breathing. Just relax through the shoulders. Obviously the arms are active, but just try not to have them too high up. So this is a really powerful mudra. And it's said to really help to calm the nerves, to help remove fear, which I think I definitely need. And it's supposed to be the yogic hand gesture of enlightenment, which is fantastic, especially if you're working towards enlightenment. If you're working towards less stress and less anxiety, this is a great one. It teaches us not to worry as well. And generally we want to hold a mudra for around 5 to 10 minutes. So what I encourage you to do, if you've got the time, is to maybe just stay here once the practice is finished on Zoom or on Facebook, and just see how long you could stay here with the breath. However, I like to just use these mudras for as long as I can, but sometimes it's just 5 breaths or 10 breaths. But what you'll hopefully start to find is a real positive feeling in your mind with this mudra. Come back to that belly breath. Grow a little bit taller in the spine, growing tall from the crown of the head. And just notice the effects that the practice has had. So staying here as long as you can. So if anyone's got any questions about the yoga that we practiced today, or if you want to know more about each posture, then give me a comment, give me a message, or drop me an email. Otherwise, just take from the practice what you can. If you don't have half an hour, 40 minutes every day, it doesn't matter. Just use the breath, or maybe do the grounding work. Or just take the ones that you enjoy the most. But if you can put that sequence together, then you'll really see the cumulative effect build up, and that your stress, your worry, your anxiety, your panic and your depression will really helpfully start to dissipate and lower. So I'm going to sign off here. If you want to stay, then please go ahead and do. Otherwise, I'm just taking my hands into prayer. Tap your chin and say namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. And we'll be live tomorrow, or Hannah's taking the next session on Wednesday with a beautiful nutrition workshop. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.